us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.
So welcome back to the new homestead. My wife and I are building up here in upstate New York. So today I'm going to be changing the car oil on my Acura, because in a couple of days I'm going to Philly. But before we do that, I have to mention something. Now today it's about 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Yes, I could wait until the temperature goes up a little bit, but I may have to wait till April if I do. Temperatures here, they're always very, very low. I mean, I'm not complaining, I kind of like it anyway. And the reason I'm changing the car oil is because in a couple of days I'm going to Philly and I want that new oil on the car before I travel. Now, I wanted to mention that the first time I used this tractor with a snowblower, I raised what they call the ROPS, R-O-P-S. I raised this up once I pulled it outside. But I forgot to pull it down on my way in. After maybe an hour and a half of working with it outside, I pulled it in, forgot to lower this bar, which is here for safety reasons, and guess what I did? This garage door, when it was up, I hit the bottom part of it and I disconnected it. Pretty much I knocked it off its track on both sides. I believe I bent some of these metal tracks all the way around, the same one with the other one, and yeah, it was a mess. The rollers came off, and yeah, it was kind of like hanging right over where I'm at now. So, but there's only one way to explain it, and I did record a little bit of that, and I'm gonna cut to that now. All right guys, so I slammed with this safety bar. It was up, by the way. I slammed into the garage door. That garage door is probably no good anymore. It knocked the rollers off the tracks. See this one, that one, and it's off by about 3 inches from the tracks. The same is over here. Wow. I may have to get a new door. I'm too tired to estimate how much this is going to cost me now. So, just FYI, if you have this bar up, for safety reasons, obviously you have to have it once you're operating this tractor. Make sure you put it down if you are going inside of a garage. Okay, so you saw what I did, and I couldn't figure out how to put the rollers back on and how to straighten out the bars, the metal bars here that holds the rollers. And I thought I had to get like a repairman to come in and pull it apart and put it back in its track. However, I didn't. I did the best I could. And even though I did not install all the rollers, I installed some of the rollers and got it back here. I pulled it down back in its place with the help of my wife. Now, it's not connected to the springs, as you can see here. It's just laying there. So now what I have to do in order for me to pull my car up here, I have to move the tractor. I got to pull it outside. But before I can do that, I'm gonna have to get this door up and hold it up there for as long as I'm working with the car here inside the garage. So yeah, it's kind of like a mess. I'm gonna have to replace, you see that wire there? It's a mess. I don't know if to replace it or to wind it up on this little track thing there that you see. Yeah, I'm gonna have to replace some of the rollers. This one's there, but this one's missing. I got them over there somewhere. But some of these little bars here and metal pieces are bent. Yeah, mistakes. We all make them. However, if you have a tractor like mine and you have the ROPS, the metal bar, safety bar that goes up, there is one channel. Orange is the new green. Luke, up in Ottawa, Canada, he has some great ideas about what to do as a reminder that your safety bar is up. And I'm gonna link them down below. Yeah, he came up with a bunch of new ideas. And I haven't yet, but I may try one of them. Now, eventually this tractor, I'm not going to be parking it here next year. I want to park it, let me show you. I'm going to park it on the second half of that shed in the back. So you see, I have two sections. Yeah, because I need this space for other things. I couldn't get the door up just with my hands. So what I did is I got the shovel and I lifted it up maybe about an inch or two, and then I was able to put my hands in there, and then I went and got a couple of small pieces of wood, and when I lifted up the door, I slid 2 pieces of small wood under it, and then I got a medium-sized piece of wood, then a larger one, and every time I will lift it up and slide the piece of wood under until I got the car jack. Now the door's super heavy. I can't do it by myself, so I need the help of that car jack. And now that it's up about 1.5 feet on the floor, I should be able to lift it up easier overhead. It's always something, but anything can be done if you put your mind to it. All right, a moment of truth. All right, by the way, leave the wood under the door if you ever have to do this, just in case it falls on you. All right, let's go. And just for good measure, I'm gonna go ahead and put this vice grip up there to hold it in place. All right, you see that, guys? I put a vice grip here right behind the last wheel, and I did the same thing on the other side, another vice grip. All right, let me go ahead and start this up and warm it up a little bit. 5W20 for this particular car. Now one thing I always do is I put some oil on this filter before putting it in the car. Why? When you turn the car on for the first time, you don't want to be sucking nothing out of this filter. You want some oil already in it. Now something I always do too, I take a little bit of oil in my finger, I spread it around the gasket right there. Just make sure you have a couple of rags in hand in case you spill anything. Now for this job, I'm gonna need a ratchet with a 17mm socket and a few rags, like I said. And obviously you wanna cover the floor with some kind of tarp. Sometimes I use the trash bag, one of those big black trash bags that I get from the hardware store. You can use just about anything, but protect the floor in case you do spill a little bit, you know, a few drops or some oil. At least it doesn't go on the floor. It'll go in this tarp, which is very easy to clean. There it is. So I'm gonna use this light. I like to use a light above and below. I'm gonna put this container right there. I'm gonna put the light a little bit a ways. All right, so let's take this out first and drain all the oil. There we go. I'm gonna keep a towel handy, so I know it's gonna come out rushing. There he goes. See that? Perfect. And I'm gonna wait for all the oil to drain out before I take out the oil filter. I wanna make sure that everything is out, and I'm gonna put this back. All right, guys, so take care of your cars and your cars will take care of you. This is an Acura RL. Like I said, this is a 2006 model. I've had it for, what, 16 years? And I have a feeling I'm gonna have it for a few more years, like until the wheels fall off. Okay, so it's time to put this back for now. Now, the oil filter is gonna be a little bit trickier and messier. It's right there. Let's see, can you see that? It's right there. I should be able to pull it out by hand because I put it myself a few months ago and I only hand tighten them. All right, let's go ahead. Let's see if I can. Oh yeah, I can do it by hand. There we go, guys, see? Oil's gonna start pouring from the side. I'm just gonna let it go for like a minute. And slowly back it out. Sometimes once you're done, sometimes they want to fall off. Make sure you have your fingers around it so it doesn't fall, and then pull it out. There you go, guys. See that? So what I'm gonna do is the new one, I'm gonna take it out of its container. I'm gonna set it aside and put this one on this empty container. Make sure you have a rag handy because right about now you'll have your hands full of oil. Or maybe not that much, but enough to make you feel uncomfortable. With the dirty rag, I'm gonna clean around these metal parts here so nothing spills onto the driveway. I'm gonna grab another clean one and I wanna clean around the filter housing up here. Make sure it is clean. Then I'm gonna grab the new filter, and I'm gonna go ahead and start it. Now, once the filter gasket touches the base, you're gonna turn it 3/4. Only 3/4 of a turn by hand, okay? Not more than that. Don't over tighten it. So only tighten by hand. Do not use any special tools for this. All right, I'm done. I'm just gonna clean up a little bit here. So again, so I don't spill anything on the driveway. I don't want to see oil on the driveway, not even a drop. And if you clean around these metal parts with the oil fill, you'll be fine. You'll be perfectly fine. Every car's a little different, so you have to obviously figure out your make and model. But this one, we are done down here. Wow, it was fast. I'm gonna go ahead and open up this one more time. If there's any oil back here, it'll drain. It should only be a couple of drops. All right, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the nut back on. So let's move the oil out of the way. The last thing you want to do is spill this on your driveway. Be careful. So where's my socket? There he goes. All right, I want to go ahead and tighten this up. Not too tight. And I'm done. Now I'm going to pull the oil slowly. You don't want this, you know, swishing around the bucket or whatever you use to contain your oil. Pull it out nice and slowly. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and dispose of this oil filter, rags, and socket. All right, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add oil now. I'm not going to add the whole thing. I'm going to add most of it, and then I'm going to check it a couple of times. Now, keep in mind that you have to check the oil level when the car is at a level surface. Right now, it's on these stands. So once I add most of the oil, I'm going to go ahead and pull it back a little bit and park it at a flat surface, and then check the oil one last time once it's on a flat surface. Trying to do this one-handed is not a good idea. So make sure there are no leaks. Obviously, you want to read your owner's manual to see how much oil your car requires and what type too. It's very important that you put the correct weight. In my case, I use 5W20. I was using conventional before, but it's very hard to find conventional oil these days, at least the stores that I'm going to. So I'm using full synthetic. It's the high mileage type, because this car obviously has a lot of miles, 210,000 miles. So I need to use, I need to use the proper type of oil, the proper weight, proper type. I measure a little bit. I need to be between those two lines right there. It's very hard to see it on camera, but I'm gonna go ahead and turn the car on, pull it back a little bit, take out the stands, put it on a flat surface, and then add the rest. And now is a good time to add windshield washer too. Okay, so I'm on a flat surface. Now I have to wait about a minute until the oil drains down. and test it again. I usually need just a tiny bit more. Alright, let's test it one more time. It's almost there. I don't know if you can see it, but I want it towards the middle between these two lines. It's at the bottom right now. So I'm gonna add just a tad of oil, just a tad more. Wait a minute for the oil to drain down all the way down to the oil pan and measure one more time. It's almost up to the top line. So we are good to go. I'm gonna check under the car one last time to make sure there are no oil leaks. Nope, it looks good. So I am good for several more months. They say that synthetic oil is good for 10,000 miles. So I probably won't have to change that again for, I'm gonna guess maybe a half a year. All right guys, and one more thing about this oil. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it back in this empty jug and I'm gonna take it to one of the auto parts stores in my area. Pep Boys, AutoZone, Napa, they should be able to take it, get rid of it for you. Now if all of these auto parts stores, if they sell oil, they can take it back and recycle. Or you can call your township or city and ask if they'll take used oil for recycling. I lived in Cherry Hill, New Jersey prior to moving here to upstate New York, and Cherry Hill does have a place owned by the township where they take all kinds of stuff like this, including used oil. You do not want to throw this in the trash. Whatever you do, do not throw it in the trash. Recycle it. All right, I'm gonna put the tractor back in its place, back inside the garage, but this time I'm gonna turn it around. I want the snowblower facing out, not in like I had it just now. And it's starting to snow. Yeah, I heard that tomorrow we're gonna get a couple of inches. But I'll be ready. I love my tractor. It's a thing of beauty. Okay guys, there she is, facing the right way. Ready for tomorrow, or the day after, or after. One last thing, I keep a journal of the date and the mileage that I changed the oil as a reminder. 210,097 miles. I just hope it doesn't fall on me. But I need to find a permanent solution. But that's another video, another job. Oh, oh. Ay, bendito.